What if I told you your cat doesn't suddenly get sick? It starts much earlier, days, sometimes weeks before, not with something obvious, not with something dramatic, but with changes so small, they look like nothing. And that's exactly why most people miss them, because they're not looking for subtle, they're waiting for something clear, something undeniable. But cats don't work like that. They were never designed to. According to veterinary research from Cornell University College of Veterinary Medicine and VCA animal hospitals, cats are biologically wired to hide weakness. Not because they're strong, but because in the wild, being visibly weak is a death sentence. A sick animal becomes a target. So evolution did something remarkable. It taught cats how to look normal, even when they're not. They don't collapse. They don't cry out. They don't ask for help. They adjust. They compensate. They minimize. Until one day, they can't anymore. One of the earliest signs is not that your cat stops eating. It's something far quieter than that. They still walk to the bowl. They still sniff. They might even take a few bites. But something is missing. That urgency, that focus, that instinctive engagement. They pause more. They walk away sooner. They come back, but don't commit. And if you're not paying attention, it looks like nothing. Maybe they're just picky today. Maybe they're bored of the food. Maybe they ate earlier. But here's what most people don't realize. A slight drop in appetite is often the first signal that something internally is off. It could be discomfort. It could be inflammation. It could be the very beginning of something much bigger. And your cat isn't refusing food. They're negotiating with their own body. Cats sleep a lot. We all know that. But there's a difference between resting and recovering. A healthy cat sleeps deeply. Their body softens. Their breathing slows. They lose awareness. They trust the environment enough to let go. But a cat that's starting to feel unwell often does something different. They lie down more. They stay still longer, but they don't fully drop. Their ears still react. Their eyes open slightly at every sound. Their muscles never completely release. According to VCA, this is called lethargy. But it's not just being tired. It's a body trying to conserve energy while staying alert enough to survive. It's not rest. It's guarded stillness. This is where it gets even more subtle. Your cat doesn't disappear. They don't hide completely. They don't suddenly avoid you. They're still there, still in the same room, still part of your routine, but something shifts. They don't initiate contact as much. They don't follow you as often. They don't respond with the same energy. It's not rejection, it's reduction. According to Asper, cats instinctively lower their activity when something feels wrong internally, not to show weakness, but to protect themselves from exposure. They become quieter, more economical, more contained. And unless you're emotionally tuned in, you won't notice the difference, because they're still there, just less present. Cats are meticulous. They don't just groom for cleanliness, they groom to regulate stress, to maintain control, to reset their nervous system. A healthy cat spends a significant part of its day taking care of its coat. But when something is off, this behavior is one of the first to decline. Not dramatically, not overnight, just slightly. The fur starts to look a little dull, a little uneven, a little less maintained, and it's easy to ignore because it's not extreme. But according to Cornell, a reduction in grooming often reflects internal discomfort, pain, fatigue, or underlying illness, because grooming requires energy, and when energy becomes limited, the body prioritizes survival over maintenance. This one is almost invisible, unless you really know your cat. Healthy cats have sharp eyes, responsive, curious, engaged. There's a spark, a presence. But when a cat is starting to feel unwell, that changes, not into something dramatic, but into something muted. Their reactions slow down. Their gaze softens in a different way, not relaxed, but dulled, as if something behind the eyes isn't fully there. According to VCA, subtle changes in facial expression can indicate pain or neurological fatigue, but most people don't look at the eyes long enough to notice the difference. Before a cat shows clear symptoms, Their body already knows something is wrong, and it starts to adjust. They sit slightly more hunched. They tuck their body in tighter. They avoid stretching fully. They hold positions longer than usual. It's not obvious pain. It's protective positioning. According to MSD Veterinary Manual, cats in discomfort often change posture long before visible symptoms appear, because posture is how the body communicates internally before it communicates externally. This is one of the most overlooked signals, because people are waiting for something extreme: diarrhea, blood, straining. But early signs don't look like that. They look like small differences: slightly smaller urine clumps, slightly softer stool, a slightly different frequency. Nothing alarming, nothing urgent, but consistent. And according to ASPCA, these small shifts can be early indicators of kidney issues, urinary infections, digestive imbalance. The problem is, most people don't track patterns, they react to events. But cats don't give you events, they give you patterns. If you had to reduce everything in this video to one single truth, it would be this: cats don't wait until they're seriously sick to show you something is wrong. They show you early. They just don't show you loudly. They don't collapse. They don't complain. They don't interrupt your life. They make small adjustments, tiny shifts, barely noticeable changes. And your relationship with your cat isn't defined by how much you feed them or how much you love them. It's defined by something much quieter: whether you can notice when something is just slightly off, because sometimes your cat doesn't need you to fix the problem. They just need you to see it early enough before it becomes one. If you've ever noticed one of these subtle changes, comment 1, 2, or 3 below, depending on which one you've seen. And if this video made you look at your cat differently, even just a little, then you're already becoming the kind of owner your cat silently hopes you are.